Good morning and welcome to Aberdeen Sports Village here in Scotland for live coverage of the Netball Europe Open Challenge and Under-21 Championships, brought to you live and exclusively by Q2V Sports in association with Inspire Sports and Visit Aberdeenshire. I'm Lynn Carpenter and I'll be your guide to the second of 4 action-packed days of live coverage here from the Under-21 Championships, featuring England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, and from our Open Challenge Cup, featuring our developing nations, Israel, Gibraltar and the Republic of Ireland. And for the first time, we are very much delighted to welcome the team from Bermuda, who will be taking part in the first game this morning and will be part of our Invitational section. Now, first match this morning, Bermuda v Israel, and joining me to talk about the game in the commentary box, I'm delighted to welcome Nats Pepperell.
Thank you, Lynn.
Nats, under-21 Welsh coach and former Switzerland coach. Event this weekend, teams that we haven't seen before for some time. What do you think we'd expect to see from the game this morning?
We're not too sure actually about what Bermuda will be like. So seeing Israel last year was really exciting. They've definitely got some exciting talent in there. And one of their players was player of the tournament last year and was outstanding for her section. So I'm excited to see what Israel bring today, and it'll be exciting to see what Bermuda have, and I can't honestly call it. I have no idea which way it's going to go today.
Well, that'll make it even more exciting for the viewers who are tuning in this morning to watch. Now, both these sides are what we call rated teams, so they haven't got world rankings because they haven't played 8 games within a calendar year, which will give them the INF ranking position, if you like. So we're not sure how they're going to compete. 2 different styles perhaps we'll see today.
Yeah, Israel, from what I can remember last year, tended to play, they did play some long balls, but it tended to be more flat. And again, Bermuda have quite a bit of height. Looking down at their squad now, having a chat, I would imagine that there'll be quite a lot of aerial balls there, so it'll be interesting to see whether there is that difference in style and how that fares.
So all to play for today, and of course we're here in the Aberdeen Sports Village, well known to us here in Netball. Netball Scotland are hosting the event. Great start to the weekend last night in the first of our 11 games, where we saw Gibraltar take on Israel. That game saw Gibraltar finish 61-20. And it's probably worth saying that some of these teams are really working hard this weekend in terms of the number of matches they're playing. So Israel played very late last night, last game on last night, this morning and again this evening. So within 24 hours they'll play 3 international games.
Yeah, that's hard at any level, to be fair, but some of these girls might not necessarily have faced competition like that at home. In developing countries it's difficult sometimes to get the competition, especially at the level that you're playing. So to come and hit 3 matches in such a short succession will be quite a challenge, but one that I hear talking to them earlier, they're very keen to take on.
So we're just about to have the teams introduced to the venue here. Let's have a quick look at the starting lineup. So I think viewers at home, you probably see all the list of players. So let me take you through the Israel starting lineup. At goalkeeper, Changford. Goal defence, their captain, Segev. Wing defence, Ginsberg. Centre, Sturman. Wing attack, one of the Komar sisters, Aziz Komar. At goal attack, her sister, who you mentioned, Nomi Komar, who's the vice captain. And in at goal shooter, they have Kupchik. So let me introduce you to Bermuda. Bermuda starting lineup. At goalkeeper, we have Smith. Goal defence, Shani Smith. It's going to make commentating interesting. Wing defence, Ashante Chapman. At centre, Dominic Richardson. Their wing attack, Demiku Daniels. Goal attack, Chatori Trott. And their goal shooter is Danielle Rayner. So we are shortly about to take to the court. Remember, if you're at home, you can join the action using hashtag #NELoveNetball. And join the action, send us your messages and we will try our best to read them out. Starting the game today in our officiating, we have Ian Fuller and Joe Lilly taking to the court. Our reserve umpire today, Nadine Pardo-Zammit. So good first passage of play by Bermuda.
Yeah, it's nice to see the goal attack taking on that first shot. Wasn't that close to the post, probably quite mid-range, and still having the confidence to put it up right at the beginning. So that's a good precedent to start for the match. It's nice to see the Komar sisters playing next to each other at wing attack and goal attack.
And that takes it to 1-1, so both centre passes converted. Good start by both teams settling in.
Yeah, not many errors yet, which I thought we might see early on, because all teams obviously coming to the tournament are nervous to start off with, but Israel obviously got to settle in their first game last night, but no errors yet from Bermuda. And another great shot from the goal attack. Again, not close to post, maybe that is her range. There's some good defence there from Bermuda as well, really tight man on marking, make sure they're running on all the players to not give them any space. And then forcing that inaccurate pass.
Yeah, good interception by goal defender Shani Smith for Bermuda. It's her birthday today, 17 today.
Happy birthday. What a way to spend it. From a netball geek perspective, any birthday should be spent on a netball court.
There'll be many people who are listening who agree with you completely on that, Nats. So 3-1 to Bermuda.
Oh, just a miscommunication there, but they still retain possession. Goal shooter and goal attack working the circle quite nicely there to create space. One on the baseline and one pulling top. Just keeping the goalkeeper and goal defence busy.
So another confident shot by goal shooter for Bermuda. Left-handed as well, which we noted earlier in the warm-up.
It's really good seeing the umpires as well. I mean, we're quite lucky that we've got some really good umpires this tournament, but just really emphasising those hand signals, because some of the girls obviously won't speak the same languages, and so it's really important at international level that their signals are really clear.
Really effective rebounding in there by Bermuda. We talk a lot in the game of netball about performance at this level, and we were saying yesterday with Maggie Jackson, it's not only about the players. For the players to be the best they can, the umpires need to be the best rated. We have to have really good officials here on the bench, which we have through Netball Scotland. The support staff need to be effective as well, and that hopefully leads to an effective performance on the court.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets to this level, all the margins make a really big difference, so it's good to have all the boxes ticked, and having the umpires that are so good like this, it does make a big difference to the game if the game's allowed to flow.
Quite a competitive game out there on the court at the moment. Neither team giving anything away.
It's really good defence by Bermuda. They're just sitting ball side, and I think Israel need to get off the back line a bit more. If they're both going to sit behind for a screen, they just need to make sure they're sitting more in the middle of the circle, so they've got that space to play the ball into.
Very confident long pass into goal shooter. Daniel Rayner puts the ball away, so beginning to see Bermuda pulling away in the first 4 minutes. 7-1 this moment in time. And that takes it to 8. What do Israel need to do now just to settle their nerves here a bit?
I think they've just got a bit frantic in attack, so there's a couple of handling errors, a couple of passing errors, and it is due to the pressure that Bermuda are putting on them, but they just need to calm down a bit and play their own game. Good baseline drive there by the goal attack. Naomi Komar, we mentioned yesterday, she was the outstanding player of the tournament last year. Footwork error called there against the wing attack. Israel have a chance to convert the centre pass. They were really effective yesterday in defence, Israel, but their conversion rate into a shot for every turnover wasn't that great. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you can just see it is just that for getting the ball through the court, and it's coming off. They need to come off the body more and just get their own space, because Bermuda are so tight, man on there at the moment, almost trying to run through them rather than doing the prelim work, lose the player, come off them, and then just keep nice and calm.
The high ball into the shooter clearly didn't work there. But Israel's play has been a little bit peppered with some of those unforced errors, which they work hard to get a turnover.
Yeah, it's the pressure of the game as well. When you've gone a few goals down, it's really easy to lose that composure a little bit. But I think they'll calm down and get it back, she says.
Commentators curse.
And this is also the having that competition at home and the practice that sometimes some of us take for granted. It's hard to recreate this amount of pressure when you don't necessarily come across it that much. So it's a real challenge for the coaches on how they can prepare for this and put them under that pressure so that when they hit it on court, they don't lose composure.
So a good turnover and defensive play by Bermuda. Again, just need to settle down. Few unforced errors on the footwork.
You can see them all coming down as well. That pressure's bringing them all down. So we had an instance there where we had 4 players all in a line and then only 1 off the forwards.
Great interception there by Segev, the captain for Israel. Again, very
point.
well read by keeper.
That's what we need to see more of them doing. There's been a couple of occasions where they could have taken their feet round, and she's just starting to see it now and moving her feet to the ball.
Another very confident shot there by Danielle Rayner for Bermuda. Score now, Bermuda 10, Israel 2. We're halfway through this first quarter, the first of 5 games today here at the Aberdeen Sports Village.
Need to get 2 hands on this rebound.
That was a great fake pass there.
Just a momentary pause for a board that's come off the back.
I can understand why Joe Liddy did that as an umpire. You don't want to be distracted or foot caught on something in the middle of a passage of play.
Oh, that's great movement by goal attack. Driving back into the circle, change of angle. Nice shot.
She's playing a strong leadership role on the court as well, Naomi Komar as vice-captain. And again, good pressure by Israel defence. They get the turnover. It's just that looking after the ball, which I hear coaches say a lot. That's a great vision into the circle.
Yeah, it's just crucial moments when you've gone a few goals down, you get that turnover. How do you play it out when it's a crucial moment, and what's the difference between that and when you're leading and you've got quite a few runs and you then have the confidence to let it go a bit more.
Bermuda playing a very tight man-on-man against Israel. Same style of play last night with Gibraltar. So, and do you think some of finishing the game last night? The game started at 7:30, so these players will have, for Israel, will have literally got back to the hotel, done their recovery, perhaps had a quick chance to look at the video analysis, and then they're here again first thing this morning.
Yeah, that is difficult, and I think it can lead to more errors as well in terms of footwork or handling if you're a bit more tired. But I don't think they look too tired on court at the moment. I think it will probably have more of an effect for this evening's game for them. It's good to see them going on the loose balls.
Another enforced error there by Israel. So star-wise, is this what you perhaps would have expected from Bermuda? The way they're playing, very tight man-on-man?
No, I actually assumed that they would zone more. I can't tell you why. That's just what I thought. I'm actually really impressed with their defensive pressure.
So the umpire did call that ball out.
So this is just the difference. They've just changed the pace. I think the centre was calling it just to play it back, just let your defence bring it through. When it's been a bit frantic, just take the pace off for a minute, get everyone to be a bit more composed, play the easy ball. Nice triangle set up.
And very composed shot there again by Rayner to take the score. Bermuda 13, Israel 4. We've got 3 minutes just over on the clock of this first quarter here in Aberdeen. It's quite marked, that difference, isn't it, with a turnover, as you were saying there, Nats. Bermuda really just kept control, very easy passes, looked after the ball and got the goal at the end.
Yeah, and it's different in terms of because a lot of time as a coach you can say to people, you know, we need to be controlled and calm down, and unfortunately it can sometimes make players stand still. But there's a difference because Bermuda get ahead of the ball, their attack get ahead of the ball on the resets, letting their defence bring it through. Their defence is still working, but by being ahead then they can move to the ball, and then that takes out the pressure of an interception as much. If you're moving onto the ball, it's a lot harder for a defender to come through on it.
Israel played Grenada and the USA last year. So would you say, having seen the game, Grenada playing a similar style, so this probably isn't as new to Israel as we thought it might be?
Yeah, I think Bermuda still have their own style. They're kind of a mix between a lot of flat balls and a couple of lifted ones as well. Their shooters are playing very cleverly in the circle, so I'm not sure it's quite the same as the teams they've faced last year.
And that was a good passage of play by Israel, but just didn't get it into the shooters. Really tight defence in there by Bermuda. Again, Bermuda moving the ball effectively around the circle. 10-goal gap now opening up.
Oh, good tip by goalkeeper.
Good rebound by the shooter, but maybe body angle by the keeper there might have kept her out a little bit more effectively.
Yeah, and I'm sure their coaches will talk about all those key points at quarter time. It's only little tweaks, it's not huge problems. And again, the goal, they get it down to goal now. They're bringing it through a lot better, whereas we saw quite a few errors in the midcourt. It seems now to be flowing through on those turnovers. It's just that final ball in, and it's just positioning really for their goal attack and goal shoot. They're trying to play the back space a lot, and both the goal defence and the goalkeeper can jump. So ideally at that point, you could do with coming forwards a little bit.
As they did then, they split the defence much better.
Yeah, goal shooter just static and goal attack really driving the base. You've just got to take the defence out of the line of the ball. Good rebound by the goal defence.
And if they're conscious, we're down to the last 5 seconds. Have Israel realised they've got to get the ball down to there? Well, good effort by their captain there. Tao Segev was obviously watching. So there we are, the end of the first quarter of the second game of play here at the Netball Europe Open and Under 21 Championships. Bermuda take the first quarter 16 goals to 6. But probably again, as of yesterday, Nats, the score doesn't really reflect the passages of play. It was quite even in some
circles working really well in terms of their goal attack and goal shooter movement, and they're both prepared to shoot from anywhere, which is a real threat actually. And Israel have got it through to the post or got it through to circle, near the circle, but it's just that clinical final ball in and making sure that that gets there. I think that's the real difference at the moment between the two.
And when Israel, the goal attack goal shooter, play much more mobile, one coming forward, one trying the baseline, they don't get caught flat and static. It does work more effectively, and what we saw yesterday in the Gibraltar game was that they were quite used to the overhead balls against teams like Bermuda, where they have got the height and the physicality in terms of jumping, and even with Gibraltar yesterday, that just wasn't effective. And I think what we saw was they didn't always have that other option to go with.
Yeah, and coming in against a team that you don't know how they play and you don't know their style, it's really hard to have come up with a game plan to counteract that. So if that was working effectively for them yesterday, then you could expect them to bring it out against an unknown team. And so now it'll just be a case of, can they tweak their game plan now knowing what it is that they're facing. Ideally your players would tweak that a bit more on court, and I think they were starting to towards the end. The same with their circle defence, they're starting to take their feet round a bit more. They're starting to zone a bit more to try and turn over that ball. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a lot tighter. I don't think the score reflects what we've necessarily seen all the way through the court.
And looking at the two benches, it looks like Israel may very well run with their same combination for the second quarter. However, we are seeing some changes down on the Bermuda bench, and as soon as we've got the details of those, we'll let you know at home. And remember, you can join us and send us your messages about the games, the event here this weekend. Just use our hashtag NELoveNetball, and we will do our best to mention you if you send us a message. So Clifton Webb, thank you very much for your messaging, loving the live feed. Well, thank you. Hopefully we will deliver a very, very good day's netball to you all. And of course, even though it's Friday, what else could we all be doing but watching netball on a Friday?
Well, there's nothing better than netball.
So I just wonder where you are, Clifton. Are you here in the region or perhaps further away? Let us know where you are based. So two birthday players today, as we said, one from each team. So the goal defence, Ishani Smith, 16 yesterday, 17 today, celebrating her birthday. Her first cap, I believe, for the senior side for Bermuda. So a great way of spending your birthday here. And although she hasn't yet taken to the court, Israel has Kami Kaplinsky's birthday. And while Ishani is 17, Kaplinsky is perhaps slightly at the other end of the spectrum, 37, and still playing competitive international netball.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. And I was speaking to the Israeli team before, and they've actually got two ladies as well who are over 40 representing them today. So they do have a wealth of experience there, and I'm in awe of anyone that's playing at this level anyway, but playing at this level and in your 40s, and lots of them have children as well. Yeah, really impressive to balance that. And let's be honest, it's not a sport that we necessarily get paid for at the moment, especially in developing countries. So they are not only here in their 40s representing their country, balancing being mums as well, they're also balancing work. So just super women, superheroes.
Absolutely. And as we suspected, Bermuda have run a number of changes. We have new wing attack Amori, Daniels at wing defence, Lucas now in at goal attack, and Pond has come on at goal defence.
I think that's definitely a good plan by their coaches there. It's good. You're going to have some nerves on the bench, so to get everybody to run out, it's not just a case of psychologically giving them that experience. When you're nervous, you're going to have a lot of adrenaline running through, and that's building up as you're sat watching the game. So to get them on there and get it run out, it's nice to be able to do nice and early.
So a little bit of confusion on the court. I think players thought it was off the side, but the umpires rightly called the contact. And that takes us to 1-1 in this quarter. Just really need to look after the ball a bit more. The wing attack there doing very effective feed into the circle. That's Mori for Bermuda. In terms of preparation for teams like our under-21s who'll be competing this weekend, and Wales, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and the support they'll have from performance analysts, teams like this, you were saying earlier, spend a lot of money themselves coming to the event. Some countries are lucky with sports councils and governing bodies, others are not. What kind of difference would you say it would make to things like that performance analysts when they go away and look at the match and look at see what the actual details? So you've lost the ball a few times, but it's how many times and where in the court and who and what happened when we got a turnover.
Yeah, I'd say it's more the preparation. When you're in the competition, there's only a limited amount that you can do in terms of the technical changes as a team and as a coach. So it's more the ability to use that beforehand, so to have the practice games, to get those coded, to look at the errors there, to look at the good points, have your stats, and then work out where the small errors are, how you can change them, and also the ability to see the other teams as well and see what kind of people are going to be playing there, what style they play. So beforehand it's really valuable, and then obviously afterwards to build from the learning, it's really valuable as well. So it can make a huge difference. And like you say, a lot of the girls will have been doing fundraising to get here, will have a lot of family support to get here.
That was a really good passage of play by Israel for their centre pass. Really good understanding between Richardson at centre for Bermuda and the goal shooter, Daniel Rayner. We saw a lot of the umpires really managing the game effectively in terms of time yesterday as well.
Yeah, the umpiring's been really good so far. I always think it's nice if you haven't noticed them too much, and the game has flowed, and they've done that really well.
So with 4 minutes of the game here, second quarter, Bermuda have now hit 20 against Israel's 8. See if they can. Nice bit of passage of. They've got to get around in front though.
That's better. They're just splitting more now and coming forwards, and the centre pass setup was set up early as well. It wasn't just a case of taking on one-on-one and running hard. So as we've come to see, Komar finished off really well. So great vision there into the circle. To Richardson under the post. Yeah, Maury's come on really well. She's fed the circle really lovely, and she's very quick on that drive to the circle with a quick change of direction. So I think to help their defence out, Israel could do with keeping their players off circle edge a bit more, just to help the defence out. It's really hard to defend against two moving shooters when the middies are also on the circle edge.
So Komar, uncharacteristic miss by her. And puts the ball away, takes them into double figures.
And she's still smiling.
That's
I love that about her. She's always smiling.
That's a feature of Israel netball completely. We're hoping to have one of their managers, coaches in the commentating box. So we'll hear a lot about Israel and the developing nations. So good go there by Lucas.
That's good recognition of the goal shoot.
It's really effective defence there, all really tight man-to-man, just tempting that ball. And I'm pleased to say Clifton has let us know that he is watching live in Bermuda. So welcome all of you fans down there. Clifton, I hope you're enjoying the game.
There's nice communication there for the goal attack and goal shoot. Considering it's a new combination, it's settled in really nicely.
That was good defence by Israel, forcing a 3-second turnover. Quite a few of the Israel players have their fingers taped, we were observing earlier. Wonder if they've got injuries or...
It's the ultimate netball injury, isn't it? The ball on the end of the finger.
We've all been there. That was great. Vision again into the circle. Good understanding between the goal attack, goal shooter, Bermuda.
Again, I don't think Israel need to rush that ball. I think when they rush, that's when it ends up being a miscommunication or a poor pass, and when they're a little bit more composed, take a little bit more time, that's when it gets to goal really nicely.
So score now just creeping further away from Bermuda from Israel, 25-10. We're just about halfway through the second quarter.
We're going to shoot it coming from the bench. They're obviously encouraging their goal attack to put the balls up rather than pass.
So Lucas duly took that on, scored a goal. Oh, good rebound. She might not appear to have the height, but her timing on the jump, Komar, is really effective.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, talking to a shooter earlier as well, because we were talking about the rebounds, and ultimately as a shooter, she was saying it's easier to recognise when it's going to go in, because you know as soon as it's left your hand whether it's going in or not, whereas obviously as a defender you're watching the trajectory a bit. And so she was saying how she and she said this as a shooter, she thinks that all goal shooters and goal attacks should be able to get the rebound before their defence if they're in a good position.
I think it's a fair analysis, really. And you do know when the ball leaves your hand, you're pretty sure you know whether it's going to go in or not.
If it's me, it's never going in. 1 in 10.
So Israel get the turnover. Let's see if they can just keep control. Again, just not quite placing the ball in the right place. Bit more vision across the court. There were other options, and that's a great ball into the centre into the circle by Dominic Richardson. She's having a good game at centre for Bermuda.
Yeah, really good quick transition, and the goal attack just hung out wide until the last minute and then drove in and really created that space. Oh, well read.
Really good interception there. Hollander Smith.
This circle for Israel is working a lot nicer now.
Great shot there by Kupchik. Should be pleased to get that away. And I think that's what we've seen. Israel, actually, if they look after the ball, they take their time, they make the right choice in terms of passing options. Actually, getting it down, the shooting end is working a little bit better.
Yeah, there's some moments of absolute brilliance, and their coach will be really pleased that there's some really good moments. So they've shown that they have the capacity to get a really good scoreline. It's just making it more consistent.
And a confident shot put away by Rayner. So 29-12 on the scoreboard at the moment. Danielle's on the ball. Maury.
It's coming in from out of court. So in netball, you have to make sure that both your feet have been in the court before you catch the ball. And in that instance, the goal shooter just took off from outside the court, caught the ball, and then landed inside. So it's classed as being out of court.
And that was a really effective passage of play by Israel. Komar's playing much more the front position now in the circle.
Yeah, you can see her now cheering her team on as well, clapping and saying, that's it, that's what we need to do.
Yeah, good looking after the ball, using the goal defence, passing back.
Yeah, much more patient.
Good hands there by goal defence, which has come on at quarter time. Pond.
That's really good pressure there from the goalkeeper to force that ball to go out.
And actually Bermuda did force a turnover there.
And you can't take that away from Bermuda either. The pressure that they're putting on defence is really strong.
Little suspiciously like a footwork there. You can see the Bermuda players constantly watching where their opponents are going. They're forcing them wide. They're not making that ball down the court easy.
Yeah, there's been a lot of passes now in this third, but as long as they keep control of it, if they do lots of passes, it's not the end of the world, but it's just giving more and more opportunities for Bermuda to run on it.
Really good hands there. Well picked up though.
Oh, that was a really good screen by the goal shooter. So goal attack had gone back into that space, and as the goalkeeper was going back to track her, goal shooter just stepped up and stopped that space.
Good hands there by Sugev, captain of Israel. Lovely long shot though. Bermuda now 30 goes to Israel's 14. It's been a better quarter in some ways by Israel.
Yeah, definitely. They've obviously tweaked a few things.
Just over a minute to go now until half time here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. Again, looking at the two benches, Nats, it's interesting. Israel haven't got any of their players up and warming up yet, and I know that's 8 minutes at half time, but Bermuda have got all their players down there ready and prepared just in case. It's interesting how coaches approach things so differently.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of them still being moving, but I guess it depends. Maybe they're thinking about the fact that they're already working so hard at the moment. Maybe they know already that they're not going to change much, and so they're just not too worried, although they have got up now and got on the bike, so maybe it's just a timing thing. They don't want them to be ready too early. Oh, great hands by the goalkeeper.
And what a great jump she's got on her. But great shot by Komar. 31-15, last 20 seconds. Now this is always interesting whether teams are aware of how little time there is on the clock. And again, they'd looked after that ball. They had an opportunity to convert from their own centre pass.
Yeah, it's also the pressure as well on time, because when you look at the clock and there's 15 seconds, 15 seconds is actually quite a long time.
And there we go. Bermuda managed to take the advantage. And as we go into half time, Bermuda are taking a lead, 32 goals to Israel's 15. So 8 minute half time. Lots of activity on Twitter So thank you for your comments. We have a number of people who've tuned in from Bermuda. It's sunny here in Aberdeen today, but probably not quite as warm as down in Bermuda. They've joined us quite early. I think they're probably about 5 hours time difference behind. But again, what else could you do? You don't need to sleep when you come watch your team playing such fantastic netball. Nat, so half-time, bit of a score, although Israel are playing effective netball.
They are, they've improved on the second quarter was an improvement, in my opinion, massively on the first. The movement in the circle is so much better. They're starting to play to ball a bit more down there. What I'd like to see more of them doing now is just getting off, doing all those lateral passes, those square passes, and actually getting players ahead and timing it so that when they're driving to the ball, they can still send it forwards rather than having to always send it in the same line. Just so that they then put in less passes, there's less chance for Bermuda to intercept it. And just a confidence thing as well. To gain ground also gives you some confidence. But I do like how they've played in their circle. And the defence as well are getting a lot more turnover now. They're putting more pressure on, they're moving their feet round. So it'll be interesting to see if they make changes, which it looks like at the moment, and what impact that has and what purpose it has. Bermuda, I think, with their wing attack change, I think injected some real pace hitting that circle edge, and for them, their pace and athleticism is a real key, especially in that getting the ball to circle edge, playing the triangles and getting it in, and they just seem to have a lot more space.
They're playing the positional defence on their opponents really effectively, aren't they? I think Israel sometimes think there is space and there is a pass available, but actually the way the Bermuda players are getting their bodies positioned is giving them the opportunity for quite a few hands in the way, interceptions, and sometimes it doesn't happen in one part of the court. It's that build-up to creating the opportunity for the defence to come out for an interception.
Yeah, and they've also ended up with getting the Israelis in the same space quite a lot, so they're encouraging them into the same space as each other, which again can cause confusion, but also gives them more opportunities to turn it over. And I think you're right, they're doing a really good, strong man-on-man job, and that's quite hard to get past. And I think that's why that's a lot of the reason why they're coming back and getting that square and lateral ball, because they're running so far, and they're quite happy for them to keep passing that, because eventually one of them will run through and intercept it. I think if I was the Bermuda coach now, what I'd want them to do more is just to try and get that intercept with two hands, because there's been a couple of tips. But that's because we're all perfectionists, so we're all really picky.
Of course, if we were on the court, we'd do that all the time, wouldn't we? We get our two hands to it.
I know.
So easy being a coach or a commentator or sitting observing the game from here.
No, I think for me it's do as I say, not as I do. You don't want to see me play netball.
So, Nats, you're not one of these coaches who goes on and does the good demonstration for the players, then, is it?
No, in the UK Super League, there's been some coaches, hasn't there, taken to court, and I think if it goes that way, I'm in trouble, because I can't go on and help my team out. Apart from as a cheerleader, perhaps.
So it's great on Twitter. We are seeing all your comments coming through. So remember, if you want to join the action here at the Aberdeen Sports Village, use our hashtag #NELoveNetball. Nikki Smith, you're very welcome to be with us. Glad you're watching from down in Bermuda. And yes, we're really pleased as well. The partnership with QTV and the work with them has meant that we'll be able to bring the matches, all 14, to you all live this weekend, free to view, which is a great advantage for netball and for teams like Israel to be able to come here, and for all their netballers back home, their families and communities to be able to watch, particularly in those countries where netball isn't the kind of prime sport, and it's something that they're constantly battling against. I know when I was talking to Israel last night, they were talking about a game called Mummanet, which almost sounds like it's some of us oldies taking to the court, but actually it's a completely different sport, and there's a lot of confusion about what netball is in comparison to this other sport. And we know, for example, with the Republic of Ireland, netball is not a recognised Gaelic sport. So we sometimes take for granted that everybody knows what netball is in the world, and it's not only getting the recognition and getting the team supported, but it's actually getting people to understand the sport. So for them to be able to see what's happening here, do you think that's an advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's an advantage for most places. I don't think there's enough netball on TV or being streamed live as it is. So any country, as you said, it's definitely more valuable to get the word out as to what netball is. But actually, it's also super inspiring for any younger netballer as well. They can go on YouTube, they can watch this, they can watch the streaming thanks to QTV. It's amazing. And it really inspires because they can see what they're aiming for, what they want to be, and even some people who watch it who haven't necessarily had that aspiration will see it and suddenly become inspired and want to be that next international superstar. So yeah, I think it's absolutely fabulous.
And of course it's great that whilst we're here at the Aberdeen Sports Village, we've had great support from Visit Aberdeenshire, and some of us who've had the chance to come up to this part of the world, not only for the netball but broader. It's fantastic that local councils, local areas get behind netball and get behind Netball Scotland to really support and help us to deliver what is an amazing competition.
Yeah, I mean the work behind the scenes that goes on is huge, and I think unless you come to an event like this and see it sort of behind the scenes, you can't quite appreciate how much effort goes into it, and a lot of it is voluntary effort as well, and like you say, the different councils supporting it. So we are very, very lucky to be in a sport where there's so many passionate people and so many volunteers, and yeah, Netball Scotland have done a great job so far.
And of course we talk about family, and netball being a family and a community that we can all plug into no matter where we go in the world, and we know that Israel have the Komar sisters here playing. They have another sister who would have been here playing had she not been expecting her second child, which we understand she gave birth to yesterday, another girl. So the Komar family now have enough girls in their family to have their own netball team.
Yeah, I think Hani Komar is the girl who had a baby yesterday, so congratulations. And apparently Mum still plays netball as well, so it's not just... And Mum has, I think it was 5 girls and 4 boys, or 4 girls and 5 boys, so yeah, I'm impressed. I struggled to play netball after 1 child.
So there's hope for some of us yet at our grand old ages.
Yeah, walking netball.
Which I actually found harder than normal netball, to be honest. Just trying to walk at that pace was a real challenge. So here we go, the start of the third quarter here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. We have some changes for the teams. Bermuda have brought on goal defence, new goal defence, who is Chapman. So Asante Chapman takes to the court for this quarter. Israel have run the changes. We have goalkeeper Young. Goal defence, Changfoot moves to that position. At centre, Tausegev, the captain, has moved there again as she did yesterday. Wing attack, Kami Kaplinsky's on, so that's her birthday today. That will be her treat for today, getting on the court, I'm sure. Gordon at goal attack, and Komar has moved back to goal shooter. So a real new team out there we're going to see from Israel. Great change of direction there by Komar into the post.
Yeah, I think she's obviously their main shooter, so it doesn't surprise me that she's moved back to a goal shooter, probably to do maybe a good strong one-on-one job to get that early ball in.
That's great. Ball to the post. Richardson again, 34-16. Good intercept in there by the new Bermuda goal defence who's come on. Chapman. So it's an interesting mix of positions that the captain of Israel offers. So goalkeeper, goal defence, and now out at centre.
Yeah. Multi-talented. It was interesting watching that. Watching the off-the-ball work by Bermuda. Wing defence was consistently changing her angles, moving her feet, staying in front of the wing attack and keeping her non-ball side. And sometimes you miss that work rate. But actually, that's what makes the difference in the pressure and in the turnover, is everybody doing that job.
Better by Israel, just keeping control of the ball. Good hands there by Richardson. Another good shot by Komar.
Yeah, ball seems to be coming through a bit better now, a bit more forward movement on the ball, so they've probably talked about that and maybe made the changes in light of that.
Good passage of play by Bermuda there, textbook stuff.
It's good to see as well in this three-court defence, Bermuda have got arms over everything. They're not happy to settle with the fact that their opponent's got the ball. They're going to put pressure on the next pass and try and turn over the next one. It's just relentless defence.
They're not letting Israel have any easy passes. Good understanding there though by goal shooter and goal attack. And Gordon puts that one away for Israel. So in this quarter, pretty much on level pegging at the moment. So 3-3 in this quarter so far. See if Israel can keep that up.
Good hands. It's good to see them confident as well, just to give the reset, so not forcing balls in now. If they're not happy with it going forward, just reset.
That was really lovely play by Israel. So this quarter, 4-4 so far. Much better performance by them. Good shot again.
Yeah, it's good to see they're learning. Every quarter they're learning and progressing and put it in. Oh, unlucky.
So she worked really hard to get that interception and pick the ball up and just didn't quite land her feet.
That's that strong 3-foot mark again.
Yeah, and again. Nice shooting.
She has been shooting really well, that goal shooter, and she holds well and moves well. She's a very tricky person to mark.
Well, and she's not a static shooter. She's not afraid to come out and work the rotation with the goal attack, as happened then.
Yeah, when they can shoot from anywhere, it's not as easy to defend.
Need a win defence breaking there, but the umpire allowing the advantage.
It's a real battle going on in that circle between the goal shooter and the goal defence. Just twinged her ankle obviously a bit. She's given it a bit of a wiggle, but I'm sure she'll run it off.
So good But to play, we now have Bermuda on 40 goals and Israel on 20. So this time in the Gibraltar game last night, Israel hadn't scored anywhere near this goal. In fact, they closed the game out at the end of all 4 quarters on 20. So to be on 20 halfway through the 3rd quarter is a huge improvement for them. They'll be pleased with this. Great ball in. Under the post, great vision. Again off a Israel centre pass.
Yeah, it was a great interception from the wing defence coming through on that centre pass. They've got some really athletic players in this squad.
It's good reading of the ball there by the centre.
The ball's going forward. I shouldn't have said that.
The work rate of some of the Bermuda players is really outstanding as well. Israel just need to dig deep now, go back to what they were doing effectively.
Oh, that's nice to play front.
Good understanding there. Doubling now on the shooter by Israel. Still the ball went in. Really good accurate passing by their centre, Dominique Richardson.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, to defend her, I think you still need to keep it one-on-one and just keep the feet moving, because goal attack is still a real threat. She's a fast mover, she works the ball, and she can shoot as well, so...
There goes goal by Gordon for Israel. (11-7) in this quarter so far to Bermuda. Oh, good hands by Israel defence. Oh, well read.
She's good at that.
Sun's Champion's done quite a few of those intercepts. She's really reading the game well from the back, coming forward.
Yeah, and she doesn't tend to go too soon either. She's just got great speed and great elevation, so...
Fortunate.
Oh, good arms.
Nice use of the triangles there. That shows a real good understanding between goal shooter, goal attack, and that they know where each other is.
Yeah, and they had that as well in the first quarter with their first combination, so it is something they do well, and you can't take away the work rate of the middies as well to get themselves in those positions to allow that to open up. And also the vision, I mean, that could have gone to...
So there's at least two, yeah. There was 2 choices in there, wasn't there, which is really effective netball.
Yeah.
I know coaches say quite frequently, you know, give me 2 offers or even 3 offers, so at least there's some choice. Oh, there she is again. Never take your eye off the ball, because you never know when it's coming.
Oh.
And still she's so shot, still it went in.
They're both up and they're both smiling. We're all right.
Was that landed at the centre pass there? That was...
I don't think so.
Be interesting to see that one back on replay.
Yeah, although there was a game recently, which shall not be named so that I didn't get in trouble, where there was a bit of debate on whether someone had landed in or out of court on social media, and then someone put the slowed down version on, and it must have been the fraction of a second decision, but the umpire got it right. But looking at it live, I think there is a bit of controversy that they might have called it incorrectly, but the umpires work so hard on being able to make those split second decisions and being able to recognise.
There we go, great passage of play again by Israel, keeping that gap to 15. So it's not all a one-sided game at all. We've got 3 minutes left of this third quarter here in what is the Invitational Open part of the weekend's netball.
Oh, it's good centre pass defence by Bermuda.
Again, coaches talk about every player on the court being able to defend, and the goal attack there really showed why that's so important.
Yeah, when you get to the top level, one turnover, 1 error, the game can be decided over one goal. So, and also we saw the pressure early on in the first quarter that Israel obviously felt. I mean, they've played through it now so much better, but if you start that pressure really on from the back line all the way through, you can get a turnover before it gets to the goal third, just from the pressure that you put on. So it's really important that everybody is a defender and everybody is an attacker.
So with the difference 16, we're into less than 2 minutes on the clock.
It's the first caution of the game there for persistent obstruction. Just using her arms a little bit coming out from the side, and it's a tricky one because some players have a more natural stance where their arms are out, and it's a really tough one as a coach actually to get them out of. It's one that the umpires have been particularly hot on this year in the UK Super League, and so it could be something that we're going to see here as well.
Just that last pass into the circle, not perhaps looking at the best option there. Quick transition down into attack by Bermuda.
Yeah, it'll be interesting now as well to see how the goalkeeper reacts. I think this is her first time playing for her country, and it's always a bit nerve-wracking when you get caution for the first time, and how do you then play on after that? Do you stop being as tough as you were? Do you come off a bit more and give them more space? It's difficult to react to as well as a player.
It's a difficult balance to strike, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And some players it affects more than others. If you've not had the experience of, again, this level of umpiring before, and you're not used to the caution warning system too well, or it does get in your head a bit of how you're going to play after that. But they're tough, these players, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They just get up and get on with it. Yeah, Jess Young, the goalkeeper for Israel. There we go. First time she's played for the international side. So at the end of that third quarter, we see Bermuda take a slightly increased lead now, 51 goals to Israel's 23. So it just felt in the last few minutes that the match got a little bit flat there. Israel just needs to perhaps refine some of their energy that they had in the first few minutes, because you remember in that first few 3 or 4 minutes, 4 all in that quarter. So clearly Israel have got the players and the right tactics to do that. What do they now need to do you think, going into the last quarter?
I think for me, going into the last quarter, it'd be you're passing around the arms. That's one of the main things that's turned the ball over lots, and I think they just need to work out how to get around that. Their ability to get the ball down court now and have those forward options has been a lot better. They're working hard on that, and their circle play again is a lot better. It's getting quite physical in that circle, and they're standing up to that quite well. So yeah, just keep those things that you've changed, maintain that intensity, but also let's work on getting around those arms, or even faking it and sending the Bermuda players one way, just to give you that more space. You can see her now as well chatting to the goalkeeper, so I think it's quite important that if you're in that situation again and you've got somebody who's young and who's new and who has, let's face it, a really good goal shooter against her. It can be quite demotivating as goalkeeper for the ball to keep going in, keep going in, keep going in. So just giving her a little bit of feedback and probably a lot of encouragement as well, because she is doing a good job. It is a hard task out there to mark that when she's moving, holding, accurately shooting, and they have got a few hands to ball in there, so being able to maintain that that is really important now, especially because psychologically it's tough.
That's quite interesting watching the Israel coach there talking to Jess Young, the goalkeeper who was pulled for that, given the caution, just explaining to her what the umpire's probably seeing, because I think as a player you're not always aware of exactly how you kind of take the court sometimes, and you think you're standing up straight and your arms are down, but actually what the reality is it's just a little bit different, and getting somebody to have that slightly more awareness of the impact they're having on the court, particularly if she's so young. It's her first time at international level.
Yeah, and it's like you were saying about performance analysts as well, they probably don't have as much access to performance analysts, and if you do, you've got the bonus of being able to show them on video where it is their arms are, what it is that the problem is, and that is something that in the middle of competition you can then tweak, so it's really valuable to have that. But you can see that she was telling her about moving her feet around rather than just trying to hold the front position, so maybe it's instead of trying to change her body position when she's holding the front, is actually try and change the technique that she's using to intercept her. It's probably the easiest way to stop her from doing it, so it's really good coaching.
So I imagine if you were sitting there as a coach of Bermuda side at the moment, your team you'd be quite pleased with a lot of it. Then obviously got some things they can take away from this game and improve. So what would your key kind of 2 or 3 bits of advice to the team be for this last quarter when they're going to come out?
They have been playing really nicely. I think, again, being really picky, I'd probably be focusing a bit more on my circle defence at this moment in time in terms of the fact that it is getting physical in there. How can we turn it over but get less physical? I think I'd want them to come off the body a bit more, maybe in the circle. Let's see if we can give them more space, create the illusion of space, but actually be in a position to be able to run on ball, so we're getting clean turnover as opposed to body-on-body turnover.
So the teams have run the changes again. So for Bermuda, we see Fubler taking to the court at the wing attack position, Smith back at goalkeeper, and Trott now at goal shooter. For Israel, Captain Tao Segev moves back to goal defence, and Sturman is on at centre. So last 15 minutes of this game, first game of 5 today. So keep tuned in to Netball Europe at Facebook, Twitter or YouTube pages. We'll keep you entertained with all the matches today. It's a good shot by the new Bermudan player who's come on at goal shooter. That's Trott.
Oh, first time ball.
You could sense it there, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You just want to let go.
And again, that comes with more confidence. Oh, great shot.
Credit to Komar.
That's how you give your team confidence as well. And I love the fact that Komar, she always picks everybody up. When she gets a shot, she claps, she smiles. When people do stuff good, she applauds them. She's a real psychological lift for the team as well as a good player.
Good interaction there between the goal attack and goal shooter for Bermuda. I think they've probably had all 4 of their players on the court now in the shooting circle. It'll be interesting for the coach to look at how the different combinations are working. Of course, Bermuda here competing in our Invitational section, which is a competition in its own right against Ireland, Israel and Gibraltar, and then separate to that we also have our European Open Challenge, which is just our 3 member countries, Israel, Ireland and Gibraltar. So interesting to see how the teams play, because Maggie Jackson was saying yesterday that for some of these teams it's the second game that counts, so a number of them will play each other twice, but it's the second one that counts towards the actual competition that they're in. I don't think I'd want to be the statistician trying to work out which one counted and which one didn't, but again, in terms of coaching, that kind of gives you a different challenge as well.
Yeah, it does actually. I'm not quite sure I'm fully understanding, but so the first game against a country might not count towards the
competition itself, yeah. But
so
they get their ranking points
okay.
internationally, which is really important, as we were saying earlier. So both these teams are rated and not ranked in the world.
So it really depends on what your, which will probably come from higher up, on what your aim is of the tournament. What's your purpose? Is your purpose to come out with the win at the tournament? Is your purpose to get the ranking points, or is your purpose for development? And all of those things bring different strategies that you need to use as a coach. So if actually it's development, you want to make sure that you've had everybody on court. Obviously, if it's for their ranking points, you want to make sure that you've tweaked it enough so that you can perform well at every game. Or if it's to win the tournament, then you can afford to try out different things in that first game and see how they play out to really put on the best performance you can in the second.
And of course, at the meantime, on the court, the players are not aware of all of that. All they're doing is giving their utmost on the court, wanting to win every single quarter of the game. So Bermuda have come out quite strongly in this quarter. 4 minutes gone. Bermuda now 57 and Israel 25. So really opening up a 30-goal gap. Confident pick-up, good understanding between the goal shooter, goal attack.
Teased a little bit, rolled around the edge, dropped in.
Israel just really need to settle this combination down. 2 changes in this quarter. So a new centre on. That's a good shot by Trott at goal shooter for Bermuda. Sure.
Good pressure by the goalkeeper. You can see Bermuda setting up that position. She was set up for that side for the ball to be swung. So they're actually thinking a ball ahead.
So we're talking earlier about the number. Oh, great vision there. Great understanding. And Trott puts it away. Now people who are tuning in today to us might know a little bit about Bermuda. It's a small island in the Atlantic Ocean, 21 square miles only, and has a population of 65,000, which is interesting in terms of the quality of the netball that they're putting out here today.
Yeah, it is. Their timing is just really nice. Just holding that space, knowing where the ball's going to be swung.
Again, with a different combination. They're still using the triangle well. Trott just needs to perhaps settle in a little bit.
Yeah, if you've got if your principles for your squad are the same, then it's a lot easier to interchange your players because you're not then playing to different styles. If your plan is to play triangles, then ideally it doesn't matter who is on that court because they know where they're supposed to be. They know where the ball is going, and the players coming down as well know where to put it.
Good front cut into the circle by the goal attack.
I think as well for people new to netball or new to watching netball, it's not just a case of we're passing to the free player. A lot of the time you're passing to the player that opens up the next pass.
So we saw then Santi Chapman again being incredibly effective at the wing defence, took an interception, unfortunately just slipped over, but she's okay, she's up. It's a great ball into the circle there.
You can see Israel as well now, just trying to keep those mid-court off the circle a bit. Their body position of the wing defence and centre on a reset is just sitting behind and trying to push them up a little bit. It's just their speed on a transition. So if it's a live turnover, so by that we mean it's intercepted normally in play, and play continues and there's no stoppage. Bermuda move the ball through the court so quickly.
That's a shame for Chapman. That injury we saw just a couple of minutes ago has taken its toll a little bit. Probably a good decision on her part. Still a whole tournament to play.
Yeah, I wonder whether that was her decision or whether it was a coach's decision. Not saying that it was a tactical decision, but she seems like the kind of player that would carry on playing on that. She seems so determined, and sometimes
a lot at international level where players understandably don't want to come off the court even when they've had a bit of an injury. But sometimes it is that call by the coach which protects them for the future of the test series or the competition as it is here.
Yeah, and their future in netball in general. I think sometimes, you know, if you've had an injury and then you try and play a night, you can make it so much worse. But all credit to her for just getting up and getting on.
Oh, unfortunate. So good passage of play there. Started with a goal defence. Towers together from Israel. Unfortunately, the ball just didn't quite drop through the net then. 6 minutes on the clock to go. Bermuda leading 63 goals to Israel's 26. Good interception there by Israel's centre, Sturman.
Oh, well
and again, good hands there.
They just need to convert it now. Just play easy balls.
Yeah, nice control by Israel. Fortunately, just didn't drop there at the end. Here comes Bermuda again.
Such good athleticism to jump off the back line, hook that in.
And she's got it again. That point you were making earlier about timing of shooters if they miss the ball.
She's got that.
Perseverance for you. So with only just 4 minutes left on the clock of this game. Oh, unlucky. Just judged to have gone out court there.
Yeah, they're just both playing their baseline on that one again. When they were splitting the circle a bit more, it was making the defence move a bit more and getting them some more space. That was nice, a goal attack to run around the front.
It's great, even at this point in the game, there is a level of intensity out there, isn't there, in terms of both teams working as hard as they can do.
Yeah, and it's really important going for your next game that you try and finish as strong as possible. So for both teams, a good finish is almost like a little psychological boost into the next game.
So another turnover by Israel. There is that. Just need to get that ball in there a little bit early, isn't it? The goal shooter Como's holding her space, and they've just got to release it and let it go.
Yeah, so occasionally when they're not letting it go, she's running past the line of the ball, and that just opens up that space for the goalkeeper to come round and get a hand to it. So you're right, just some fast balls.
So it takes Israel to 27 goals.
There's that speed again from Bermuda.
Puts them up onto 66. 2.5 minutes to go here at the Aberdeen Sports Village.
Looking at your scores from today and your score for Israel Gibraltar, I think Gibraltar Bermuda is going to be a very close match. It'll be an exciting one.
It will be a very exciting game.
Oh, good rebound.
Yeah, good positioning by Segev. But just occasionally, as you're saying, getting those balls kind of windscreen wiping across the court rather than getting any penetration.
Yeah. And it's the work rate to get ahead of the ball and then start, and also the calmness of your attacking unit to not come down too deep and join the party.
Oh, great. So Trott perhaps will be disappointed with her shooting statistics in this game, but you can't knock her work rate, her rebounding, and as you see, her ability to go for the ball again if she does miss one.
Yeah, the other thing that they're fighting for is obviously court time, so yeah, you put out a good performance in this game, regardless of which quarter you go on for either team, there's more chance of you being on court for the next game, and let's face it, that's why we're here, because we love netball and they want to play.
And now with just a minute on the clock left, the gap has grown to just over 40. Israel might be slightly disappointed with that at the end of this game, although score rate, they've put another 8 goals onto the clock.
Yeah, and like we said, there has been some really good passages of play. There's been some really good links. There's been some really good movement and partnerships developing, and they have learnt and built as they've gone on. So it'll just be now quick recovery and building for their next match at 5. Not too much time to debrief, but I think that's the 30-second curse. That's that. You look at the time and someone shouts 30 seconds and you have to launch it in as quick as possible, and actually it's a really long time. You can hear the noise in the crowd now. Time for another centre pass if this one goes in.
There we go, 10 seconds to go. So Bermuda hits 70, they'll be really pleased with that. The centre gets the ball back in. Well, you can't shoot from there, you had your foot out. But it was the right intention.
Well, I don't think she cares now anyway.
I'm sure she doesn't. So the final score here at the Aberdeen Sports Village on day 2 of the Netball Europe Open and Under-21s. Bermuda take the match at 70 goals to Israel's 28. Well, that's all for us here in Aberdeen at this moment in time. Join us later this morning for all the action here in the Sports Village. We hope to enjoy the coverage. Tune in later and hopefully stay tuned in on our hashtag Netball Europe Love Netball. Nats, final comments.
It was a really good game to watch, actually. I think if you had come in at the end and you saw that scoreline, you might think that, you know, it was a bit of a blowout of a game, but it wasn't. It was good performance from both teams. So yeah, really pleased to have been able to watch that one.
This has been a Netball Europe and QTV Sports coverage in association with Visit Aberdeenshire and Inspire Sport. Nats, my thanks to you. Really appreciate you being in the commentating, and good luck with Wales later on for the tournament.
Thank you very much.
Special thanks to all of you who've tuned in from around the world watching back home. We hope you've enjoyed the event this morning and keep tuned in. There's more to come from us here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. Bye for now.